something went wrong again.
So list it. Just go live like it's for real.
It says it's live. It says it's private.
Perfect.
But I didn't set it to private. I set it to unlisted.
What the monkey?
I don't know.
That's just the chat.
Yeah. Yo!
Hey!
Yo!
Is this thing working? Hey! Is this thing working? Is he in the Zoom call?
Yeah, but I don't think he can hear me.
Can't start video, can't start video. Should I call him?
Yeah, I guess. What's using my camera then?
Thanks for calling. If you would leave a message at the tone.
Why won't it let me use my camera? I'm not using my camera on the live stream.
Are you on a Zoom call right now?
Yeah. I'm here.
You're here?
Now I go to Streamlabs.
Oh, volume. Or is that going into the headphones right now?
Headphones.
So should I put the headphones on?
I'm not done yet.
Oh, you got them on? Can you hear George?
No, he's not talking. There, boom, we're both here. See?
Huh?
We're both here.
Both there, but nobody can talk to each other.
We're both here. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Can you
Oh.
hear me?
I know. George!
Hello?
Hello! George!
How are you?
Doing good. We are live unlisted right now.
How are you?
I'm gonna send you the
cool.
link so you can check out what we look like. I'm gonna
Oh,
send you the
cool.
link.
I bet you I can find it without. Oh, well, if it's unlisted, I can't.
You want
I
to
bet you I
list
can
it and
find
then
it
go on
without-
another
oh,
machine
well,
and
if
watch
it's
us
unlisted,
so
I
that
can't.
you're...
There is what we look like. There is what
Where,
we look
there?
like.
This?
I'm talking to George right now, Dad. All right. All right, you sit. All right, you sit. This screen has to stay like this, or everything is ruined and the world explodes.
How do
Are
I
you-
change my...
Are you, at.
Sit.
Oh, you're over there.
Hello? How do I change which window I'm in?
I didn't know you were there.
I'm here.
Oh, cool. You got your little thing up.
The what now? The what?
You got your chart up behind us.
Well,
I know, but I don't know how I have that up or why. I'm still a little fuzzy on how this is working. So, Steven, if I want to use this screen, how do I use it?
this screen can move. Gimme. This will run in the background. And this is what the people can see.
Oh, so I don't need to see that. I see that here and here. Do I need to do anything else?
Make sure this screen never is altered in any way. Because the way I have it set up right now is this widget that's both of our faces is just a one-to-one copy of what this screen looks like.
Gotcha. I can't hear you, George. Can you hear me?
You can hear me. I just am not talking.
Oh, you messing with me? I'm already confused enough.
I'm just singing.
Where's my water?
I'm going public. You go public after I'm gone. Hit save and then it'll open.
All right, so I'll wait for you to be set up somewhere, right?
Yeah.
How do I know, like, can you join chat? Oh, I can't see the chat if I'm like this. What do I go, like this? No, where's the chat?
This window. These two at the end. S is chart. This one's chat. It'll be here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I do this and this. Where's that other window?
Here, hold on. Stop. This'll
Let's
be the chat.
dance.
Just don't touch anything over here.
Okay,
Once
so
again,
that's chat,
world will explode.
but over here I can go
Boom. This is all you need on this.
bang.
So just hit. Hold on. I'm gonna change the lights in here. I'm gonna change colors.
Change colors. Yeah.
You on video chat mode right now?
How do I see myself on this screen?
Here.
No, I mean that other thing.
What?
Remember that one thing where there was like two, like this?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
You're hovering it, bro.
Okay. Good times.
That'd be crazy.
Then boom. Then bam.
You wanna be blue?
Yeah, I don't know
Red?
what's.
Look at you. Go back to.
No, I
You're
don't.
on the big. Look. Let me see. That's what the people are gonna see.
No,
Red,
that's
yellow,
madness.
Green, blue, just white.
Yeah, yeah. Is there like regular? There you go. That.
Okay.
That's regular, I think.
I can't help you with this. I'm just gonna have to throw you out of the bird's nest and hope you don't die. See ya. Hit save.
Catch you
Hey,
on the
rolling.
flip side.
Lacey.
You gotta go live. You gotta. We're still not live yet. You know what to do?
I just pressed save. That should have made us go live.
Go to. It did. Hello.
Hello.
You know what is crazy?
What's crazy?
What is crazy is that. Look at Bitcoin.
Oh, did it just take off now?
Look at Bitcoin.
Hold on. Oh, I'll just look on the screen.
It didn't take off, but it Why is my camera blurry? Did you just make me blurry?
I didn't make you blurry. Oh yeah, it's gonna take off now. It's 4 o'clock.
Isn't that insane?
All right, so we're currently live?
Yeah.
All right, so where's our who's watching? How do we see that?
You go here. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Tom's new to doing this whole live thing, so it's gonna be our first time. Now myself, I run another channel and I'm used to going live, so I'm just an idiot. Tom's the smart person.
I'm an
so-
amateur.
I don't know why, but I don't know why my screen is blurry. But I'm trying to figure that one out. But anyway, so what we wanted to do was start doing a weekly review of Bitcoin and our Bitcoin miners, and because we think that the next few weeks are going to be really, really interesting in the Bitcoin world. Don't you, Tom?
Yeah, it's getting interesting. We've all been waiting for October for a long time.
Yeah, we have, and we're starting to see the third quarter people showing results of how many coins they mined, and so that's really starting to help. But you know what's amazing is that you have the price of Bitcoin going up, and you have them reporting how many coins they've mined, but yet we have not seen a really big spike in the prices. What's going on, Tom?
No, this week's been the exact opposite. This has happened before. This week, the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin acted the opposite. And, you know, we had that. I don't know if you guys can see on my screen. Is my cursor arrow showing? There's a giant green candle on the left side. Everybody can see it.
Yeah, it's not showing yet.
Hold on. Let me.
Hey, everybody.
Is this showing?
Hey, thanks, Manuel. Manuel just gave you a shout out for some great analysis.
Oh,
so Tom,
thank you.
There you go. That's showing right now. So Tom's new at doing this live thing, so he's going to do the best he can. But ask any questions. We're going to start. Yeah, it makes no sense how come these miners are going so low. But he's going to give us a breakdown of what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Of course, it's going to happen over the weekend. And he's really going to start to really dive into I'm going to tell you who Tom is and what's kind of interesting about this whole Bitcoin mining stock that we have and why we actually started doing this. So, yeah, bad week for Bitfarms. Tom, make sure you keep up the chat so you can see what everybody's writing to you.
Oh, gotcha.
Keep that on the other screen. So give us the breakout analysis of what's going on with Bitcoin right now, Tom.
All right, so I did a video this morning, and this chart is on the screen. So I think we're in the middle of a second leg up on this breakout. We saw right here, this was October 6th, so this was just a couple days ago. We had this huge run up, and this is where the games started to get played. The Bitcoin miners did not follow along with this. So you can see in one day, I mean, if I go even a little further back, we were down here at 49,000. We were down at 50,000 on October 6th. And we ran up to, 55. And the miners did nothing. So that morning we were all everybody probably woke up like, oh, yeah, this is going to be great. And nothing. So a lot of them went sideways. A few of them went up. A lot of them went down. So, and it's been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's been the same story. So it's been hit or miss, red and green with the miners, but they have lagged Bitcoin massively over the last week. So there's been 2 or 3 times when Bitcoin starts to hit a recent high where the price of these miners gets suppressed. So I think we're in the middle of that right now, and I don't think it's going to last long, but I think this is the period of time where big money tries to scare everybody out. Right, everybody's just getting ready, and expectations are so high. And when you see green lines like that, when you see green candles going up $5,000, your expectations naturally go through the roof. So when nothing happens, that drives a lot of people out of the miners. It drives them out of Bitcoin. It drives them out of the mining stocks when the mining stocks doesn't respond properly. So, we spent the rest of the week doing that. And it just started to get a little bit better today, but I'm expecting big things next week. So I think nobody knows what Bitcoin's going to do, but so far our analysis that we've been doing, if you've been following along in my videos, we've been pretty close. So in the short term, I feel like we got a pretty good read on what's going on, and I think I know what's coming. So that's what we'll talk about. And we can talk about some miners and the channel and who I am.
So one of the reasons why we did this is we wanted to. Tom said something very interesting, and it's really funny, is that we don't realize this, that we're in a competition. We don't look at this as a game when we're trading, but unfortunately, it really is a game. And he said something about what'd you say? The big money,
Yes.
people. And what he's talking about is, there's only, unfortunately, a few people that hold a big pot, a big part of the pot. And so what he's talking about is that they can manipulate our prices. So when they manipulate the prices, us little guys get to suffer the consequences and see, drops of $10,000 to $15,000 in a matter of minutes. And I'm not even, just a large percentage of our holdings. And it's really amazing to see it happen, because you're like, man, this is it. We finally see Bitcoin break out of a range, finally breaks the 53,000 that Tom talked about. And then all of a sudden, bam, we get smacked, and it doesn't go where we expect it to go through. Do me a favor. If anybody wants Tom to do any type of stocks or any type of analysis of any stocks, go ahead and put this to the right, and he'll go through those. And if we don't get a chance to give you a shout out, we really appreciate you commenting. I did see somebody here. I don't know anything about TI. I've not even heard of it. So it could be a micro. But we're looking at it, and we're trying to figure out what it is, and if it is, I need to let you know also that none of this is financial advice. This is just two guys talking and trying to make some sense of the market for you. But you know what? Somebody just typed in something that I want you to be aware of. Greenage. Tom, can you explain greenage for me? and why you're scared of it still?
Yeah, and so stock ticker GREE. I did several videos on this. Everybody got really mad at me. I did my first video on this back when it was support.com, and it was about to go through a merger. I did a very, very deep dive and showed exactly what was going to happen. And I feel like investors were not properly informed at all. I mean, I went through, people don't have time for this. You know, I went to the SEC filings and read every single word of every filing. And, you know, sometimes that's what it takes to understand. This was an extremely complicated transaction. So support.com was, and this is another term that aggravates people, but it was a meme stock. That's what it was. And it ran up astronomically. So what was happening was it's the shareholders of Support that got destroyed in this. When when their shares got converted to greenage, there was a ratio that they got converted. So that was a big surprise to a lot of people. You know, they were the support.com portion of this was only a very small part of the total company. So that's the analysis that I did before this happened. I showed, listen, if it stays this price, this is going to be a $7 billion company. We all know it's not going to be a $7 billion company. So I think this stock's going to go down 80%. And, you know, sure enough, it went down 80%. And
The next day, by the way.
and much faster than I thought. Usually these things take a little bit of time, but bam, it was like everybody lost all their money at once. And that's why we do these videos. That's a part of what, you know, George and I wanted to get on here and say. It's like, I enjoy doing these videos. I'm researching stocks all day and night anyway. But when I come across stuff like that, I'm trying to just let people know what I see. So
Can you do me a favor? Can you open up a green chart real quick and show them what we're talking about? And here's the thing. And how come you came up with that evaluation? I don't think people really truly understand, at least I don't, truly understand of why you think like one miner is going to do better than another miner. And I know it has a lot to do with this hash rate, and it has also a lot to do with how many Bitcoin they have in their holdings. Or what do they call it? Hoggling? Hoodling.
hodling, hodling.
Hodling. Hoogling. And
You can say it however you want. It's a made-up term.
so and just explain to us, because I noticed one of the things that you did is that you you know, like for an example, Riot and Bitfarms, and those two are being, I mean, I believe they're being suppressed right now.
Right.
So go ahead.
I just want to take a quick second. JJT Peters mentioned in the comments plug and fuel cell. And I just wanted to let you know that, yes, we were talking about this. I got fuel cell at $1.98. And that was a similar situation. It was wildly undervalued, but unfortunately it ran up to a place that was insanity. So, you know, I got out at about $15. I think it ended up going to 30. And Plug had the same trajectory. Those two just went ballistic. I do think we're rotating back into some of those small cap, high growth stocks. And I think both of those fall into that. Plug is a lot bigger than fuel cell, but they're both in that same group. And I think so. I'm looking right now. They're on my watch list. I have not bought back into them yet, but I think the hydrogen plays are very interesting. That's something that will be coming up on this channel when the time comes. So sorry, I just wanted to answer that question.
No, that's okay. And I know you did recently just did a video on the chef.
Tattooed chef. Oh, any other kinds of money? Hello, thanks for joining.
And why did you pick them out of all the stocks to pick out? What did you like about them?
Tattooed chef?
Yeah.
Well, with the tattooed chef, you know, I actually cover, we've been pretty much obsessed with the Bitcoin mining stocks lately because it's kind of the time of year. Right now is, I think, you know, we've been waiting all year for these moves, and I think they're about to come. So we've been really covering them closely. But I try to follow three things. The three areas that I look at are obviously the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin. I like to follow the EV section, the EV sector. However, I do follow them all, but I do not invest in the large caps. So Tesla, NEO, those types of companies, I'm very familiar with them. I don't invest in them. I'm kind of a contrarian there. I feel like they're overvalued, but that is a very unpopular position to hold. So, I look at a lot of the smaller cap ones. It's funny. The EVs are kind of split into two. The large caps are wildly huge valuations, and some of the lower caps are just very, very undervalued, in my opinion. So, it's strange to see. And then the third thing that I like to look at is stuff like the Tattooed Chef, which is just high growth, new companies that are in high growth mode. So small cap, high growth stocks. So if you follow the indexes, that would be like the Russell 2000. A lot of those stocks, they're not necessarily in the Russell 2000. They're just in that group. That's kind of that would be the index you would follow if you're investing in things like a Tattooed Chef, or even I think Marathon is in the Russell. So, so that's the third thing I like to cover is the small cap growth stocks. However, you guys might remember, in December, January, February, those went to the moon and beyond. So the valuations on those went insane. People made money every day for months and months, and then it was a rug pull, game over. So those have been going down for the rest of the year this year. So from March to now, those have not been good investments. I do have a handful that I have held and I'm still investing in and I'm adding to, and Tattooed Chef is one of them. I think that has massive growth potential. That's a long-term investment for me. So I'm two things. I am not a day trader, so I don't do any, I don't do day trades.
So I want to interject one thing, because somebody said, "Is this financial advice?" No, this actually is not financial advice. This is Tom's opinion, and Tom does a lot of research for me. And actually, Tom is employed with our company, and this is all he does. Is all day long he gives me advice, and what I want to do is I want to share that advice with everybody else. So I'm me. Hello, everybody. This is Tom. He's giving me advice. You guys can hear what you think. Whatever you do with that is your pleasure. You can use it as toilet paper, or you can use it to make some money. But either way, it's up to you. I just saw that real quick. I don't want anybody to get there. Now, Tom, somebody else said something here, and you've been saying this a lot to me lately, is about the pattern of what Bitcoin's going. And is there a pattern happening here at all?
We all look at these charts and see different things, and sometimes I see short-term patterns. I think there's a longer-term pattern happening, and there was a couple of short-term patterns that played out the way that I hoped they would. So, a lot of times that happens, and that's why I always say, like George says, you got to do your own due diligence. This is what I think. Sometimes what I say works, sometimes it doesn't. I feel like I hit more than I miss, but nobody knows what Bitcoin's going to do. I think we all have a good idea of where we believe it's going in the long term, but on any given day, like nobody woke up on the 6th and said, "Hey, I think we're going up $5,000 in the next 2 hours." So those things just happen. And then, 3 weeks earlier, we had a flash crash where we went down $10,000 in a few hours. So that's the kind of this is super highly volatile stuff. So you got to have the stomach for it. I recognize a lot of the names of the people that are chatting, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about, and you understand how this works. But a lot of retail investors, they don't know this, and they try to jump in. They FOMO in on this stuff and get destroyed. Because if you don't know what you're doing, these are scary.
And I got a question for you, because Tyler just asked this question. It was about CleanSpark. And where, I mean, let's say honestly, a year from now, I know you're taking the magic 8 ball out, but a year from now, what percentage do you think these things should do? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but this is not financial advice. Where do you think we can see most of these miners that are, not the micro ones that are, approaching the $1 billion cap rate?
I mean, honestly, all of these miners, even including, at this point, even including Marathon and Riot, are still, technically Marathon's not a micro cap anymore. It's approaching $4 billion. And Riot, I think, is around $2.5 billion. But all the rest are $1 billion or less. So they're all micro cap. And I think they all have a huge growth trajectory. Some more so than others. So, and a lot of them are getting better about putting information out. So that helps me put my analysis together. Some of the stocks I've stayed away from are not necessarily because they're bad companies. It's because they're not disclosing things. And as an investor, if I don't know what's going on, I don't want to guess. I'd rather take the company, even if it's not great news. Tell me you mined 340 Bitcoin this month. Even if I was expecting you to mine 400. I want to know what it is. If you don't tell me, I assume it was a disaster. And that's human nature. That's the default position. So I think the Bitcoin mining community has really pressed to that point because we're seeing a lot of miners put out some pretty uniform updates at the beginning of each month as to what happened in the last month. I will tell you, CleanSpark doesn't do that yet. So if I was to be able to talk to anybody over at management at CleanSpark, I would tell them, put your information out. Put your hash rate out. Put your Bitcoins mined out. It doesn't matter what they are. We want to know. If we don't know, then it's a big, giant question mark. And in investing, uncertainty is bad. Just period.
And Tyler wrote down CleanSpark's the best because it's clean energy and a microgrid. And actually, I have another company that we do electric.
Hey, East Coast. Sorry to interrupt.
And what we do is we install just electric. We do electric for houses and stuff like that. But we actually had an opportunity to bid out in Atlanta, Georgia, all the solar panels that they're going to be installed. Let me say that word again. Solar panels that they are going to be installed. One of the things that Tom didn't mention, but when you start seeing this one company that has the largest percentage of ownership in the company, that's usually a good sign that that company is getting ready to take off, by the way. And they seem to be in the large cap business, and they seem to know which entities to go after, Tom, wouldn't you say?
Are you talking about an investment broker?
Yes. Well, no, I'm talking about a hedge fund. A hedge fund guy. But and yeah, Tom is building a bomb shelter. He is trying to stay safe for the apocalypse. Is that right? Apocalypse. Sorry, I have a speech impediment, but I already know that.
Other kinds of money. I know you're a Hut fan. I am too. I was able to get on that pullback. I was able to get back into them, and yes, I think they kind of made the blueprint on transparency, and everybody's kind of starting to do what they've been doing all along. So I'd like to see that. And earlier, I said CleanSpark's not doing that, and I'm frustrated with them. But you guys that watch the channel know I do like CleanSpark. I mean, I'm still able to do the homework on it, and I think there's massive, massive upside on that one. I think their stock price is getting punished because they are not being transparent. And Hut is very transparent, and you can see they are the first one out of all these miners to hit my short-term price target. And I think that's a big part of it. Their marketing of their own company, their information is excellent, and so I feel like they're ahead of everybody on that. And there's a bunch of companies. Bitfarms could learn from them. Even Marathon and Riot, I don't think keep up with Hut 8 on that kind of stuff. But they are copying them. You can see, if you look, you'll see they're copying what they're doing. Everybody's starting to put out some uniform information.
So, and I'll tell you another thing is I would consider myself a retail investor. I'm an idiot when it comes to investing. Tom is the master. I am the idiot, and that's okay. I'm used to being the idiot. So, one of the things that I've noticed this whole week is that I don't know if you guys have noticed this. What you can see where people have rotated money into a stock and then rotated money out. And a great example of this is Bitfarm, because Bitfarm will go up and then they'll go down, and then they'll go up and then they'll go down. And it's like so frustrating because you're like, yes, finally it's going to the moon, and then bam, someone decides to take some profits off the table. But Tom, what do you think the best miner is for a value of a standpoint right now, right this minute today as we closed on Friday? Would you still say Riot? Or would you say CleanSpark?
There's 3 or 4 that I think are just a cut above just. And it's mostly because they're lagging. It's the laggers that I'm looking at right now. So it doesn't mean they're the best Bitcoin miners. It means their stocks are lagging behind. And ultimately, when these guys report the fourth quarter, they've yet to report the third quarter financial results. When they report the third quarter, but more so the fourth quarter of 2021 and then the first quarter of 2022, they will not be able to hold these stocks down at that point, in my opinion. The financial statements are going to be like, people don't understand. You guys probably do that are watching this channel, but the retail investor does not understand how profitable these miners are, and they're about to see some shocking numbers. So I'm willing to wait. Like, I think these should all be running up much faster, but if I have to wait for the first quarter of 2022 results to come out, I'll wait, because the PE ratios on this are going to be, this is why I'm calling for doubles and triples and quadruples, because at some point there is no way these stocks are going to trade at a 5 PE ratio. That's just not going to happen. These are high growth stocks, and I know a lot of the arguments against it, and Bitcoin's a volatile asset. However, I think you're going to find out that's going to trade. Somebody early talked about what Patrick, I think, asked what my plans would be starting when the bear market starts in December. And I'm going to tell you, I'm in the minority on this as well. I don't think there's a bear market coming. We'll have a cool off. I think this is going to start to act more like the stock market. Bitcoin in specific, not necessarily the entire cryptocurrency world. I think Bitcoin is going to start to act like the stock market in that it will have pullbacks from time to time, 10% corrections, but these 60, 70, 80% corrections, that was a phenomenon that I strongly believe is over.
You think it's over with?
I think that's over. The fundamentals have changed dramatically. There's a reason that happened in the first couple of halving cycles. It made sense back then, but now with the institutional, all the acceptance that Bitcoin has gotten at this point, the amount of Bitcoin that's off the market, and there's another thing that I feel like nobody's talking about. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with the stock to flow model and Plan B and all that, and that's where a lot of these $100,000, $200,000 price predictions come from. Well, there's another fundamental change. Basically now every single miner that I'm following, they're keeping between 90 and 100% of their Bitcoin. So there's no new Bitcoin coming available on the market right now. In addition to that, the institutions are buying and taking Bitcoin off the market. So the supply is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We haven't seen the effects of that yet. And that is what I think is going to stave off the next crypto winter. So yes, we'll still have pullbacks. Yeah, this still will probably be more volatile than the stock market, but I don't think we're going to have these radical seasons where, it's great and then it's a disaster.
Oh, and by the way, I came up with, and again, I don't know if this is true or not, but the last week, you remember last week of September, Bitcoin pricing went all over the place. It went up, it went down, it went up. It was really starting to, we're like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And I said, what if there was a whole bunch of Fortune 500 companies holding Bitcoin on their ledger and they didn't want people to know and they had to get rid of it before the end of the quarter and then buy it back up. I think that's the reason why you saw that spike. No one said that online. Again, this is not financial advice, but that's probably what happened. That's, because it just made sense to me that if these guys can't show, they're like, oh my goodness, you can't show that you're in Bitcoin yet. Let's get rid of it and then we'll just buy it right back. Because we haven't seen a jump like that yet.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been saying October, but I don't think any of us thought it was going to be like October 1st. So that was pretty impressive. East Coast, I do think ETH is going to continue to mirror Bitcoin. Everybody's all over the place on this. One day you'll hear like, oh, ETH is going to overtake Bitcoin. And then the next day you'll hear, oh, Cardano is going to overtake ETH. And it's like, I think ETH has got its solid place in second place. Obviously, it has a lot more utility than Bitcoin does. They're different assets. But I think that Bitcoin is the leader for the most part. But I think that ETH is a great investment, and it's not going anywhere.
Did you see? I think it was yesterday. There was some big news that came out on XRP. I'm a holder of XRP.
I did not see that.
And I guess the judge finally said, "Look, you need to give them this information of who holds XRP. They have Ripple has the right to know who holds XRP in the SEC. So that's going to be an interesting one to see what happens. Oh, that could actually move the price down as well, or move the price up, because they might have to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just reading the comments. Sherman 1862, yes. Frank Holmes, CEO of Hive. Hive is crushing it, and I'm actually about to do a video on Hive. They just put out a fantastic press release. They're one of the ones that, for a while, I was frustrated. When I listen to Frank talk, it always sounds like good stuff, but they weren't really compiling their data in an apples-to-apples format that was making it user-friendly for me to invest in them. So I did start investing in them recently, and I like the information they just put out. So you guys can expect a video from me about Hive. I'm in. I'm on the bandwagon.
The other thing is, no one, Tom, knows what your background is. And I just wanted people to learn a little bit about what Tom's background is. Tom is that bean counter, if you know what I mean. That sits there and there'll be all these beans. And you're just like, just scoop them up. We got a rough idea of how many there are. Who cares? But no, not Tom. Tom actually was basically Price Waterhouse. What was it back then? Cooper's Lybrand?
What's now Price Waterhouse Coopers. I was at Coopers and Lybrand. They were merging right when I left. So yeah, I was a CPA. I'm not a CPA anymore. You have to keep your license active in order to be a CPA. But that's how I started my career. So I did 6 or 7 years in that. And that was where a lot of my training came from. And, I was fortunate. I got to go into a lot of for-profit companies and get to see them from the inside. And I feel like that was great training. That was not going to be a career for me the rest of my life, but the training that it gave me was amazing. So got nothing but good things to say about PricewaterhouseCoopers and public accounting, other than it's a tough job.
It's a real tough job. I mean, you
better like 90-hour work weeks.
Yeah, 100. Yeah. Oh, great! I didn't work 100 hours. And somebody worked at Ernst & Young. Is that what it was? Ernst & Young. And so that's what Tom. So Tom was the guy who went in and did the audits on billion-dollar companies, and that's something Tom doesn't tell you because he's just one of those people that doesn't like people. Like, I don't know. You think that's what it is, Tom? You don't like people knowing what you did or your background? Yeah. Who's your hairstylist, Tom?
What?
That's what they're asking, Tom.
It's so funny. I did just get a haircut, and I actually just switched to
Oh,
a
did
new
you really?
person. So I don't know if they did
Ooh,
a
a
good
hottie?
job or a bad job.
A hottie?
Listen, I'm one of those guys that walks in. I walk in, I check up at the desk, and then whoever cuts
Whatever.
my hair cuts my hair.
So yeah, though, we really appreciate everybody watching. Anybody has any comments or anything? Tom has an email address, or you could just type in any companies that you'd like to see a what is it called, a perspective on, so to speak, or just some due diligence so that we can all make money together and be happy and live a great life. Anything else you got, Tom?
Yeah,
you
I
wanna
just wanted
run
to
down
say
Bitcoin.
I wanted to say thanks to you guys. You know, I see some of you with us online right now. Other Kinds of Money, East Coast, a bunch of others that your comments help me a lot. So I appreciate it. You've got a lot of insight and a lot of good comments. It keeps me going because, as you guys know, there's a lot of hate out there. So I try and ignore the hate and move through it. And it's always nice to get positive feedback and just insightful comments of people that know what they're talking about. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks again, and I think we're going to do this next Friday, right, Tom? I think this is going to be our new Friday thing at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And Tom's channel is the best. Again, thanks, guys, for watching. Anything else you want to add before you close, Tom?
Have a great weekend. That's all I got.
All right. Thanks, everybody.